Welcome to our SAP series. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of business configuration sets, or BC sets, a key tool in the SAP universe. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a newcomer, this introduction is designed to shed some light on their importance and how they work. BC sets are powerful tools in SAP, used to transfer standard configurations from one system to another. Why are they so crucial, you may ask? The answer is simple. They enable rapid and consistent implementation of business processes. Imagine being able to duplicate a successful configuration and apply it to another project or system without redundant effort. That's exactly what BC sets offer. In the sections to come, we'll explore together how to create, manage and use BC sets effectively. Whether you're looking to optimize your operations, save time, or simply understand this essential SAP component, you've come to the right place. Get ready to discover how BC sets can transform the way you work with SAP. Now let's dig a little deeper to understand why business configuration sets are an essential part of the SAP platform. As we know, efficient and accurate configuration management is crucial in any ERP system. So what are the specific benefits of BC sets? First and foremost, BC sets significantly reduce human error. By avoiding manual configuration, you not only reduce the risk of errors, but also save valuable time. This means your projects can move forward faster and with fewer complications. Compare this to traditional configuration methods. In the past, manual configuration was the norm. This often involved a time-consuming and error-prone process, lacking consistency and precision. BC sets change all that. They ensure greater consistency and accuracy by standardizing configuration across different projects and systems. Let's take a concrete example. Imagine you are deploying a new SAP module. Instead of configuring each parameter manually, BC sets can instantly apply a set of predefined parameters, ensuring that every aspect of the module operates according to best practice and your company's specific requirements. This saves considerable time and significantly improves reliability. One last thing before going into SAP. You should know that there are standard BC sets supplied by SAP, but you can also create your own BC sets. Let's start with the standard BC sets. Supplied by SAP, these sets are predefined configuration designed to meet common business needs. They represent a set of best practices and standard parameters that can be directly applied to your SAP system. These standard BC sets are extremely useful for companies looking to rapidly implement business processes without having to start from scratch. They provide a solid, proven foundation on which you can build and customize to your specific needs. Let's move on to the creation of your own BC sets. SAP gives you the flexibility to create customized configurations that precisely match your company's unique requirements. This means you can take standard BC sets as a starting point, then modify them or create entirely new sets to meet specific needs. Custom BC sets are created via specific transactions in SAP, such as SCPR3 or SCPR20. This process allows you to select, adjust, and save specific configurations, giving you total control over how your SAP system operates and interacts with your business processes. Let's take a look at SAP together. We are now in SAP, and the first thing we can check the path to access this transaction. So you are in the SAP menu, you have Tools, Customizing, Business Configuration Sets, and then you have here the two transactions that we have talked just previously. Let's begin by this one, SCPR3, display and maintain business here configuration sets. We are now in the transaction business configuration sets display, and here on the left you have the possibilities to choose which BC sets you want to display. So you click here, you have the possibility to add favorites with the stars here and load them directly, or you can select by different things like attributes, activities, object, tables, and text. I will select here by activities object, and I will search something with WM as an example. I will execute, and you will see here all the BC sets that SAP has in its system. So you have a lot of BC sets just only for WM or EWA part. You have here for activities area, area bin, so on. And if I double click on it, activities area here, I double click, and you can see here that SAP display now the information about this BC sets. You have the defined activities area here, I double click, and you will see first the table concerned by this BC sets. So as a reminder, we will use this to apply a lot of customization part automatically with this, and you have here the table related to the point you want to upload or modify. And then in this table you have all the data records that SAP has in its BC sets. You have the warehouse number, activities area, and the description for this point. And for each different processes, you have different BC sets that exist according to SAP. You have for work center or whatever. So you can see that for different business process, you have a lot of different BC sets with each time a lot of information. You have here the determination of the inbound process. You have also here the document type. So you can see also that it's possible to have different tables in the same BC set. We have seen that SAP gives us a lot of BC sets already pre-existing in the system. But you have also the possibility to create your own BC sets according to the needs you have in your company. You can click here to create the BC sets, and you have to give it a name. For example, I create a new basics for SCWM, so EWM part. I give a short text, and you can create here the BC sets with 3 different methods. The first one here is to give a transport request. So imagine you make different customizing modification, and for this customizing modification, you create a transport request. So you have some information in this transport request with the different modification you have done, and you can use this transport request to create here a BC set that is exactly the same as the modification you have done in the system. You have a second possibility here to use BC sets already existing in the system, and you can in that way create a complex BC sets with a lot of different information. And finally, you can use here the implementation guide directly from SAP here, like the SPRO transaction. We will use this one for the example. I continue here, I validate, and then now you can see that in this part, I have access to the customization point from SAP. You are in the SAP reference IMG. And then you can scroll and choose what you want to implement in your BC sets. Let's continue in the extended warehouse management part for our example. I click on it, I continue to go further in the customization part, so extended warehouse management, master data, and for my example, I want to recover the warehouse number. I click on it, and you here recover the warehouse number. you can recover the table and you recover all the data record that is already existing in your system. Now you can see that it's in an orange color. It means that the data is not in my BC sets. So I click here on the table and I click on the different line I want to recover and place into my BC sets. I choose also the whereas number list if I want to implement this information, and then here I can implement in a standard way. You can see now that it turns in green and the information is in my BC sets. I have add a table. I can also add another one, for example, the storage bin types. I click on it. Now I can see that my table for storage bin types is here, but not in my BC sets. I choose also the first one, and then I put it with the standard button here in the BC sets. You can see now also that you have a green button here just in front of the defined whereas number. It means that it's in my BC sets now. I can then save here my basics new one, and I have created now a new BC sets that I can use. I can go now back, and when I want to use the BC sets, I have to activate them with the SCPR20 transaction, activation of BC sets. I double click on it, and now you can see here the BC sets that I have just created previously with you. For sure, you can select all the business sets you want, and with this, you will be able to activate the business sets configuration, and you will implement each customization point that is inside it in your system. You can also check the information by clicking on overall view, and you can see now that it is created by me. You can recover all the information related to this business set configuration. You have also here the implementation guide path, so you can see where the information is recovered and so on. So with this, you have all the information related to each point you have placed in your BC sets. The last information is that SAP gives you access to really complete BC sets for implementing some modules. For example, you want to implement the EWM from scratch in a system or in a company. You have this kind of BC sets, basics, with a lot of information inside. We can check here that you have a lot of information about the data structure. So you have the warehouse number, you have all the storage types, storage station, storage bin, and so on. So you have really a lot of configuration points, but what is really important is that it's created by SAP. So it's really in a standard way, in the best practices when you create a warehouse or EWM warehouse, and also with every information you need to have access to it. You will create the work center, product part, handling unit. So it's really a huge business set configuration. But when you want to use this BC set, it is really important to go here in Go To and display documentation, because for each BC set, SAP has created a complete documentation, which information you will recover, which information you will upload in the system, which are the IMG activities. Also, if there are some prerequisites, because you can create some dump or inconsistencies if you don't take care about it, and also more information about related BC sets. So it's really important when you want to activate such things to read the complete description and notification given by SAP. And then finally, when you want to implement everything, you have just to activate BC sets and you will implement everything in your system. Understanding and configuring BC sets is one thing, but applying best practices to make the most of them is quite another. So let's dive into a set of essential tips and best practices for using BC sets in SAP. These tips will help you maximize the efficiency of your configuration and avoid common pitfalls. Firstly, documentation is crucial. For every BC set you create, be sure to document the details of the configuration, including the purpose, the parameters included, and the target systems. This will facilitate not only monitoring, but also reuse and modification of BC sets. Another important aspect is consistency. Make sure you maintain a consistent standard in your BC sets. Use clear naming conventions and detailed descriptions. This will make BC sets management more intuitive, especially when you are working in a team. In addition, always test your BC sets in the development or test environment before deploying them in production. This allows you to identify and correct any errors or incompatibilities, ensuring a smooth transition to the production environment. Keeping up to date is also essential. BC sets need to be reviewed and updated regularly to reflect changes in business processes or SAP updates. Periodic review ensures that your configuration remains relevant and effective. Finally, don't hesitate to tap into SAP communities and online resources. Sharing experiences, tips, and best practices with other SAP users can give you valuable new perspectives on using BC sets. With these tips and best practices in mind, you are now better equipped to use BC sets effectively and strategically in SAP. We've come to the end of our in-depth exploration of business configuration sets or BC sets in SAP. In this video, we discussed their importance, how to create, manage, and use them effectively, and best practices. BC sets are more than just a configuration tools. They represent a strategic way of thinking and operating in the SAP environment. By mastering their use, you can considerably improve the efficiency and consistency of your SAP configurations while saving time and reducing errors. We hope this episode has provided you with valuable information and practical insights on how to get the most out of BC sets. Don't forget that continuous practice and learning are essential to remain proficient in this ever-evolving field. For more information and to consult our detailed FAQ, please visit the description of this video. You will find additional resources and useful links to help you learn more about BC sets in SAP. Keep exploring, learning, and excelling with SAP. We look forward to seeing you in our next videos.